Interviewing candidates for a position is an important part of the hiring process. To help shed light on some important interview considerations, we've asked Mr. Stephen Shea from AFPC to join us.
Today we're going to be going over the basics of interviewing, types of interviews, developing interview questions, prohibited topics and questions, attributes of good interview questions, considerations for a productive interview, practices to avoid, common rating errors, and interview self-evaluation. First, we'll go over the basics of interviewing. Ensure the interview is well planned. The procedures are understood by all interviewees and the interviewers. Know what information is being sought, what behaviors and responses to be observed, and the evaluation standards to be applied. There are three types of interviews: exchange of information, selection interview, and ranking interview. The exchange of information is intended to exchange information only. It is utilized when the interviewer does not intend to ask interview questions. It is used to familiarize the candidates with the position information, work setting, equipment utilized, or any unique pressures. You do not want to let this turn into a selection interview. No questions should be asked that are related to qualifications. The selection interview is a one-on-one meeting between the selecting official and the candidate. Questions are asked to help determine the candidate's quality of experience. The primary purpose is to provide the manager with additional job-related information that was not covered in the resume to help make a selection. The ranking interview is normally used with a panel of experts to determine the final ranking of candidates prior to referral to the selecting official. The selecting official would not be a part of the panel. Panel interviews. If a panel interview is used for selection or ranking interview, a leader is appointed. Panel decides who will ask what questions. Members individually rate candidate responses and then discuss after completion of the interview. Discrepancies and/or variations should be further analyzed. Panel members should have the option to change ratings after discussion, but should not be forced to do so. When you're developing interview questions, you want to utilize the KSA's knowledge, skills, and abilities, which are found on the job description. Questions must be strictly job related. You want to utilize the KSA's from the PD since they describe what the job requires. You want to keep a copy of the interview questions and candidate responses for approximately 1 year, which is about the same time that the referral certificate is kept. If all candidates are not interviewed, annotate candidates not interviewed and the reason why. Interview questions are subject to review should the selection later be questioned. If a point system is used, be sure the method is well documented and justifiable and consistent with the predetermined criteria. A simple example of a rated interview would be having 15 points assigned for the best candidate, 10 points assigned for a good candidate, and 5 points assigned for a minimal qualified candidate. You would have 0 points if they had no experience. To acquire 15 points, the candidate would have to have more than 12 months experience. To acquire 10 points, they would have to have 6 to 12 months experience for a minimum of 5 points up to 6 months experience. No experience would receive 0 points. There are some prohibited topics also. Some of the illegal topics are work schedule, organizational affiliation, personal plans, participation in certain activities. The work schedule travel may provide the interviewed candidate with information about special requirements like unusual work schedule, the hours, and required travel. No questions about family that may interfere with the work schedule or travel requirements may be asked. Organization affiliation. May ask questions about experience in professional organizations that may fill the required KSAs. Just general questions about organizations they're a member of are not authorized to be asked. Personal plans and participation in certain activities. No questions may be asked in this category. Example, you cannot ask a candidate if they intend to buy savings bonds or donate to the CFC.